Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. Myself Kuhu Sarkar and this is our first postmodern writer. I hope you know that I had already started a series where I'm going to talk about the postmodern writers and their writings. In my introductory video of postmodernism, I had already told you about the features of postmodern writings and then gave you some example of postmodern writers and their writings. So here I'm going to start our first video with William Golding, who was the important postmodern writer. After that I am going to talk about other postmodern writers, important postmodern writers, one by one. So I hope you like this series. So let's start with William Golding. William Golding, who was born in 1991, 1911 and 19 and died in 1993, was a British novelist and playwright best known for his thought-provoking and influential work which is Lord of the Flies. Published in 1954, Golding's work often explored the themes of human nature, morality and the inherent capacity of the for evil within individuals. So Goldings believed that every human being have the evil inside. So in his novel Lord of the Flies and other works also, it shows that human nature, morality and the inherent capacity for evil within the individuals. Then, born in Cornwall, England, Golding studied at Oxford University, where he initially focused on natural sciences but later shifted to English literature and philosophy. He served in the Royal Navy during World War II, and this gave him an experience that profoundly affected his worldview and informed much of his writing. So he was in the Royal Navy during the World War II, and this gave him an experience that profoundly affected in his writings. Lord of the Flies, perhaps Golding's most important or famous work, the novel tells the story of a group of British boys stranded on a deserted island after their plane crashes. As they attempted to establish order and civilization, their society gradually descends into chaos and brutality, illustrating Golding's belief in the fragility of human civilization and the darker aspects of human nature. As I told you that Goldings believes that every human being have the evil quality inside. So his Lord of the Flies writing Flies novel shows that how the little children's or teenagers boys can also be brutal. As we see that we always think that children are the pure minded or innocent, but here Goldings try to show that children can also be evil if the circumstances change. So this is his debut novel Lord of the Flies, and it was rejected by 22 publishers, but after that you know that Goldings won the Nobel Prize also, and it was his best notable work. Golding's writing often delved into the conflict between individual society, exploring the tension between the inherent human capacity for violence and constraints of civilization. His other notable works include The Inheritors, Pincher Martin, and Spire. So, I'm going to talk about his other important writing also one by one. So, let's see. In 1983, note down the important date. In 1983, William Golding was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature for his parables of the human condition. His novels continue to be widely read and studied, offering profound insight into the complexities of human behavior and human condition. Golding's work remains a testament to his exploration of the dark recesses of the human psyche and his ability to create thought provoking and enduring literature. So let's see his most important work, which is Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Flies is a 1954 novel by Nobel laureate British author William Golding. The plot concerns a group of British boys who are stranded on a uninhabited island and their disastrous attempt to govern themselves. Themes include tension between groupthink, individuality, between rational and emotional reactions, and between morality and immorality. So let's see more about this novel. Here I am going to talk about the novel in chapter wise. In the first chapter, which is The Sound of the Shell, we see the story begins of a group of British boys, including Ralph and Piggy, who find themselves stranded on a deserted island due to a plane crash. So, due to a plane crash, they reached a uninhabited island, and then all the boys they came together and they decided that Ralph will be the leader, and they decided that they can use the survival how they can survive in this island. So Ralph and Piggy discovers a cone shell which they use to call the scattered boys together. So there are other little boys also, but they all are teenagers. So due to the plane crash, maybe the in the time of Second World War, it is always see that children's are um, left their homes, and children are taken by the government or by their families maybe, or by the government. They are taken in the safe place. So when they are taken in a safe place, in between in the air, the plane crashed and they landed in a uninhabited island. So they are all schoolboys, teenagers. Ralph is chosen as the leader, and they discuss the need for a signal fire to attract rescue. So they decided that they will light up a fire, and it will attract the smoke will attract the other soldiers, and it will give them the rescue. Then in the second chapter, which is Fire on the Mountain, it is also a title of a novel, American novel, Fire on the Mountain. Maybe this title taken from this novel. Ralph and Jack, the leader of the Choir boys turned hunter. So Jack, you can say that Jack is the villain here. So Jack, the who is not happy with Ralph leadership, because he himself want to be leader. So he is the leader of choir boys turned hunters. So they become hunters, and Simon reflect Jesus Christ. So in net they ask that who reflect Jesus Christ. So Simon is the reflector of Jesus Christ. So Simon ascended the mountain to start the signal fire. The boys succeeded in lighting the fire, but inadvertently let it go out as they become distracted. So the little boys, they don't know that how to survive, and they don't know how to take care of the fire, and they are distracted, they are disinterested. And Jack also did not follow Ralph order, and because he himself want to be the leader, so he influenced the little children also. So let's see how the chaos started. Then in chapter 3, which is Hearts on the Beach, the boys begin building shelters but face difficulties in maintaining focus and cooperation. Jack's obsession with hunting grows, and he becomes less concerned with the fire. So the duties were divided, and Ralph divided these duties. He said that these children will take care of the fire, the little children will bring food from the from the forest, and little children, they don't know how to take care themselves, so the senior going to take care of them. So he beautifully decided or divided the groups, but Jack not going to obey his orders, and he interest he had interest more in hunting. He became obsessed with hunting, and he became savage day by day, and little concerned about the fire. Then chapter 4, painted faces and long hair. So the Jack's group, the followers of Jack, they become savage day by day. Jack and his hunters became increasingly savage and painted their faces with clay at disregarding rules. So they're not going to obey the rules. A ship passes by the island, but the boys miss the chance to rescue because the signal fire is out. So they are not concerned about the fire, and a ship passes and they miss the chance to rescue. Chapter 5, Beast from Waters. A beast from water. Fear of a mysterious beast on the island grows. A meeting is held to discuss the fear, and Ralph attempts to rescue everyone, but Jack questions of his leadership. So there a mysterious beast, a story of mysterious beast came out, and the children, they are always thinking about many things, right? So they are imagining that maybe there is a beast in the island, and this mysterious beast story grows on, and Jack started disobeying Ralph, and he just go against Ralph, and he questions on the leadership of Ralph. So he is not going to hear Ralph now. Now, chapter 6, Beast from Air. A dead parachutes land on the island, and Samneric were the two twins. So together they are called Samneric. Members of the Ralph's group mistake it for beast. So one plane is going, and dead parachutes land on their island, and they thought that it was the beast. Jack's group raid Ralph's camp, stealing Piggy's glasses. So Piggy's glasses used to light up the fire. So they steal Piggy's glasses, which they used to start their own fire. So are doing these savageries. Then, chapter 7, Shadows and the Tall Trees. Ralph and his remaining followers, Piggy and Samneric, hold a meeting to confront Jack about the theft of Piggy's glasses. Jack and his hunters brutally kill a mother pig and place its head on a stick as an offering to the beast, and symbolizing their descent into savagery. So they are now practicing these kinds of savagery, and they are in their imaginary world. So now they are not concerned about how they can be rescued. They are thinking that they are the leader of they are the king of the island, and they are doing these kinds of things. So gift from darkness, which is chapter 8. Simon, who is the representative of Jesus Christ, a sensitive, introspective boy, has a vision and realizes that the beast they fear is not external force but something within themselves. So as Golding believed that evil is inside you, so Simon, who is the representative of Jesus, he realized that the evil is not outside, evil is inside. Jack's tribe now fully embracing savagery and begins to terrorize others. So they are now fully embracing savagery and begins to terrorize other voices. Now after this something happened with Simon, and after the death of Simon, the chaos started growing on. So let's see what happened. That Simon realized that the evil is not inside outside it is inside, because he saw that there is nothing like beast. A parachute was crashed in their island, so there is nothing like beast. In chapter 9, which is View to a Death, Simon stumbles upon the Lord of the Flies, the served pig's head and on a stick, and has a disturbing conversation with it, further emphasizing the darkness within. The boys mistaken Simmons and for the beast, and during a frenzied dance and brutally murder him on the beach. So Simon have a hallucination. You can say that Simon have a hallucination that the pig's head was talking with him, and he said that the evil is not outside, evil is inside. And Simon realized that there is nothing beast, no beast here. And when he came to say this thing to his friend, the boys are doing dancing, a savage dance or frenzied or brutal dance, and they thought that the beast is coming, but it is actually Simon who is coming from the forest to tell them the truth, that there is no beast there. It is only a soldier or a dead soldier parachute. So they thought that it is beast, and in a savage brutality they just murder Simon. So you think that the children are so innocent, but they became so much savage that they can kill the another another boy, and the little boy can kill another boy here. So they murdered Simon. Then chapter 10, the Sail and the Glasses. Piggy and Samneric joins Jack's tribe out of fear. Jack's tribe steal Piggy's glasses to maintain their fire, and leaving Ralph's group helpless. Chapter 11, Castle and Rock. Ralph, Piggy and Samneric confronts Jack's tribe at Castle Rock, Jack's stronghold. Roger, one of Jack's followers, pushes a boulder off a cliff and killing Piggy and shattering the console. So they use console to call other voices, and now Piggy is going murdered. Piggy is murdered or killed by Roger and Jack's followers. They put a stone over him. So Simon died, Simon killed, and Piggy is now killed. He is represent science. Piggy is here represent science. Remember. Then chapter 12, Cry on the of the Hunters. Ralph becomes the sole remaining member of the original group. So everyone left his group and joined Jack's group, and Ralph was sole remainer of his group, the original group, the first group. A naval officer arrives on the island in responses to the forest fire set by Jack's tribe and effectively rescuing the voices. Now a naval officer came and he rescued them. So the story ends with the boys now rescued and crying and realizing the evil they are capable as they leave the island. So when they rescued by the naval officer and he took them into the ship, they are now crying because they thought that what we done, that we killed two of our friends, and we can become so much savage. So they are now crying by looking at their savagery or brutality. So there are some cover photos of other writings by William Golding. Let's see his other writings one by one. I'm going to give you a little summary of each writings. The Inheritors, which published in 1955, set in prehistoric times. It follows a group of Neanderthals who encounter more advanced Homo sapiens and explores themes of innocence, civilization, clash between different stages of human development. So it's about the Homo sapiens exploring themes of innocence, civilization, and clash between different stages of human development. Then Pincher Martin, which published in 1956, after a naval officer is stranded alone on a rock in the Atlantic Ocean, the novel delves into the struggle for survival both physically and mentally in a stark and isolated environment. So Martin is about a naval officer is stranded alone a rock in the Atlantic Ocean, and it delves his struggle for survival, but it is only an illusion. Then Free Fall. Free Fall, published in 1959, the introspective novel narrates the life of Samuel Mountjoy, an artist, and explores his inner thoughts and conflicts as he reflects on his past and relationship. So he it explores his inner thought about his conflicts life and his past and his relationships. It is Free Fall, which is published in 1959. Then the Spire. The Spire, published in 1964, set in a medieval England, it tells the story of a dean who becomes obsessed with building a grand spire on the cathedral, which leads to moral and structural decay within the church. Then Pyramid. Pyramid, published in 1967, a novel that explores the life of Oliver. So here is the protagonist is Oliver, an archaeologist, and his relationship with his wife and son as they excavate an Egyptian tomb, touching on the themes of history, ambition, and passage of time. Then Darkness Visible, published in 1979. This novel centers on a British naval officer who survives the sinking of his ship during World War II, finds himself adrift in a small boat grappling with isolation and existential question. So it is about a British naval who tried to survive from World War II, from death. Then Rites of Passage, it is part of his to the ends it is part of his trilogy, and the first book is Rites of the Passage, which published in 1980, the first book To the Ends of Earth. So the name of the trilogy is To the End of the Earth. It follows young aristocrats' journey on a ship to Australia in the 19th century. It explores class distinction and challenge life at sea. Then next novel is from the trilogy. The second installment of the trilogy is the novel is Close Quarters, which published in 1984. Then this novel continues the journey of the protagonist Edmund Talbot as he faces further challenges and interpersonal conflicts on the ship for Australia. Then third novel of the trilogy, which published in 1989, the final book of the trilogy, it concludes Edmund Talbot's journey and further explores the dynamics among the passengers and crew during the voyage to Australia. Then the next novel is The Paperman, which published in 1984. This novel revolves around the life of Wilfred Barclay, a successful writer who becomes engaged in the schemes of man claiming to be his biographer, delving into themes of identity and manipulation. So here you see the life of a writer who is Alfred Barkley. He is the narrator here. He came in touch with a American rich man, a selfish man, and he want him to be his biographer. And there is a theme of identity crisis and also manipulation. The man manipulate him, the paper man. Okay. Then These works by William Golding showcase the exploration of themes such as human nature, civilization versus savagery, moral decay, isolation, and complexities of interpersonal relationships, making him a renowned figure in 20th century literature. So let's see his other important works. The Double Tongue is sorry. Okay. The Double Tongue is his last novel and it published posthumously. It was published in 1995. Then other works are The Scorpion God, three short novels which published in 1971. Then An Egyptian Journal which published in 1985. A Moving Target which published in 1982. So that's all. I hope you like this video, and if you have any queries, please don't forget to write it in the comment section. So thank you for giving your time. I hope I will continue this series. Thank you.